Welcome back. And if we recap the lesson and topics that we have seen in our couple of previous classes, we know that we are discussing about the idea of classes and objects. As of now, we know little bit what we mean by classes and objects relating to our real world in programming language. Apart from that, we have seen demonstration programs, how we are defining a class, template also you can call it as. Not only model, template, blueprint, something you can call it as. Sketch, you can say that one also. So how do we make a template of the class so that based on that class we can create objects. Objects is the real thing that is executed. Mere defining a template will not work for that. Because class doesn't hold any data. Only object can hold data. But it is not 100% true. Class data is also available. We can see that. Apart from that, in our previous class, we discussed about operator overloading, function overloading. What do we mean by operator overloading and function overloading? We will see in this class, because that was the last topic. When we supposed to wrap up, we started discussing about overloading concept. Overloading is something, the object oriented concept of one of the characteristics is polymorphism. Polymorphism idea is implemented in practicality by means of function overloading, or sometimes we can call it as method overloading also. Also, if you recall our previous class, you know that we discussed about inheritance. That is not also a difficult concept. We can relate the concept with our real world. Something is already available, we want to reuse it. So, heredity, we can call it as inheritance. Heredity, inheritance. A is inheriting something from X. Something we can say that. Now, before going to the function overloading in Python particularly, I want to introduce a concept called as constructor. A special method defined inside a class, which its name itself is a special name. You cannot change that name also. Such a constructor is a method that is automatically invoked. So, in theory, before designing a program, we can say that constructors are special functions or methods that resides in an object class that is automatically invoked. Other functions are not automatically invoked. You have to call the function. ABCD dot name of the method. Something X dot name of the method. That is the way we are invoking the method. But constructor is a special method. Special in the sense that we don't invoke. We don't invoke. Automatically invoked. Such a method is called as constructor. What is the use and importance of constructor? When we create an object, that is the point exactly where the constructor methods are executed, invoked. Usually programmers are doing all kind of initialization of the object inside a constructor method. We are not doing any serious programming inside the constructor. You may think, what is that giving initialization? Many of the bug in the software is because of proper initialization is not happening to proper variables. That is the reason that many variables are not properly initialized with some garbage value already available. You started using that variable, and you are saying that I have my program is perfect. It is not working. The garbage is there. So bugs are not proper initialization. So in object-oriented approach, because it is relatively new approach in programming, comparing with the procedural programming and structured programming that you have gone through in the PDF that I shared with you all yesterday, day before yesterday, I can say initialization is the most of the primary job of a constructor that we are doing. Okay, now let me demonstrate this idea with the help of a class. with the help of a class. I want to name the class as const demo. What is the name of the class? Const demo. Here underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Yeah, we have to use def. As usual, we have to use def because it is also a method, right? Yes, you are right. The init is the name, initialize. That is the meaning. The name itself suggests that it is not for any serious programming. But in other programming languages, there is no init method. Then what is the name of the class? That will be the name of the method. There is no special name for other languages. Say, for example, you are supplying two values to this initialize. Okay. Now I'm creating a variable called as first and another variable called as second, and I'm assigning the value. That's it. I'm not doing any serious job in this function. Okay. Now I'm creating another function called as def sum up. What is the name of the function? Sum up. Now I can return the value of first and second. Yes. In the definition, I need self. Return we don't need to mention, right? A return will you be mentioning? How will you mention the return value? Self dot first plus self dot second self. That will both add the values. No. Return you are asking me to mention. Return I have mentioned in a. Return mentions inside before first you taking. So there is no first variable, right? So self dot first. Self dot first something you have to come. Yes. Okay, I'll revisit that idea. First, I'll create like this. Def, for example, my mean. Another name of the function is my mean. Return first plus second divided by 2. I cannot put because second will be divided by 2. After that, it will add. So I don't need that behavior. So I'm enclosing by bracket. This is the what it is called as class definition. Now I want to write the driver code. Every time I'm recalling you later, if you don't want, you don't need to type all these comment statement if you are recognizing. Driver code, what I'm going to do, C equal to const demo. Usually what you will do, you will not give any value here. Const demo 10, 20 I'm giving. Actually, this value goes to AB of the init function because it is the constructor. As soon as this statement is seen by the Python compiler, the const demo will be added with the code of invoking the init method. Init method is a special method called as constructor. It is called as constructor. Okay. Now C is initialized. Object C is initialized. C is an object of type const demo. It is initialized with the value 10 and 20. So the variable first is belonging to the object C. Second is a data member belonging to C object. They are also having definite value. Now, if I say sum up, oh sorry, if I say sum up, it is going to return the sum. I want to print that. I want to print my mean. Now you run the program. So self is missing. Self is missing. 16. Okay, yes, you are right. Both values are you. This is the problem with me coming from. Sir, def might means that is self is missing. No, one by one also. What is the another error? No, full day I'm not teaching Python. Only I'm coming for Java and C++ is the thing I'm teaching. I'm not remembering this self keyword. Okay, now I'm ready. 16 also. Hmm? 16 inside my team, sir. My team call up. Yes, yes, self is missing. Yeah, yes, you are right. Now it is giving the output. That suggesting is in other languages. It is not like that. In C++, the same function I will write like this. Int sum up int a comma int b. After that I will put a curly brace. Return a plus b. There is no self idea there. It understands implicitly that you are which object you are referring to. Implicitly it understands. This is something I'm not talking about. This is something what? Uh, you are creating a block na colon indentation. There is no indentation and all. Here you have to put explicit opening and closing. This is this is a function or method in C++ or in Java. Exactly the same function. It will work for Java, it will work for C++. Why saying A is a int, B is a int, it is going to return a value that will be a int because it is statically typed language. You cannot say that now it is A is int, later I will give float. That is possible only in dynamically typed language. Python is dynamically typed. That's why we don't mention any data type. Return type also we don't. Object also you can return. Anything you can return. Obviously it will understand. So this is the program that is demonstrating you the idea of the constructor. The idea of constructor. Okay. Now let me copy paste this one. Uh, the next one is I told you function overload. There is no mechanism for function loading in Python because Python doesn't support. Only it supports something called as operator overloading. Some special methods are there. Please remember in Python, if I say special means it will start and end with double underscores. What will be? If it is a special variable, name will be underscore 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 underscore. If the method is a special method, underscore underscore underscore, you are not giving the name, somebody else has created. The developer of the Python has created for you. You cannot modify that. For example, we used the doc string. You remember doc string is a variable that stores the help text about the class. Just you type in the top. Sorry. You just type the text in the top. Now this is the class, right? I can say a demonstration to constructor idea. I told you whenever I use const, automatically you see even I didn't took 1 second also immediately we interpreted. ID is finding out what is the help text. Got it now? Code var in a special variable called as doc string. Documentation string. Documentation means help files. Because this program you have written, tomorrow somebody has to read and understand. Then only it is a useful program. So you will be adding this type of lot of comment statements. Some places it is a comment statement. Sometime it will become the same comment statement will become a help file. If you take all the comment statements together, it will become what? help file for for your program. Not only for that one, I can tell you, even in the beginning of a function, for example, summing up two values, I'm adding, I'm going here, C dot sum, sum. It is showing here, but it is not, the help file is not coming. Sometime interpretation may also take some time. You can check that string also will be displayed. Yeah, yeah, it is coming, you see. You see, it took some time. Some time it will take. But after you designing the program, if somebody is opening, it will not type. Just now we typed and just now it is interpreting. Summing up to values. Something sum up is a method available in this class. It is doing this type of work. If you don't want this one, you need more explanation, you can add like this also. What you can do, first argument to this function is a integer. Second argument function is an a float. This is an integer. Now it is showing you error message. How can you make this one as a single line? Can we put it triple quote? Now it has to recognize. Who has to recognize? Some function has to recognize. Are you getting? So this is what the help files are. If you open the open source programs, because they are writing for the whole world to open and understand, they will be having proper documentation. In old languages like C, C++, they are having a latest mechanism. But as soon as Java language and Python are all designed, sorry, what languages they designed, they built the idea of one programmer helping to another programmer. Now I told you some of the thing is available in Python, but many things are not available. What is one thing available? Operator overloading is possible. Function overloading is not possible. First, easy to understand is function overloading. First, I will show you. If there is no mechanism for function overloading, there are multiple ways are there. You can come up with the idea. You can come up with the function overloading. First, you have to understand what is function overloading. Polymorphism means what is function overloading. And how can we achieve that one with the help of a Python program? Because Python by default it is not supporting. By default it is not supporting. If you take C, C++, Java, not C, C, C++, Java and automatically it is supporting. By default it is supporting function overloading. Function overloading is the ability of a programming language that permits more than one method inside a class with the same name. With the same name. If, for example, if you take in your family, your own family, immediate family, Vinay is the one son, it will be illogical to say that Vinay's brother name is also Vinay. Is it possible? Is it making sense? How will you identify? This is the problem they don't permit you. Inside a class, more than two function cannot have the same name. For example, you take that one violent American president was there, George Bush. His father name is also George Bush. His son name is also George Bush. How this is possible? One W is actually there, but they are not using. George Walker Bush is name. He is not using the name of the word W. George Bush, George Bush. Everyone is saying. What is his father name? George Bush. Something is differentiating, right? Little bit. This is the real world practice that we are deploying in our functions. By means of the parameter list, in the function parameter, differentiate there. Differentiate no parameter, one parameter, two parameter, three parameter. All these things are you are differentiating. By means of this, even if the function is same name, by means of the different parameter, compiler will understand that you have created a function overloading. You have created function overloading, but this is not supported by Python. Okay, what can we do? I will write a simple program to demonstrate. We can overcome this if we need really interested about function overloading. Our functions can support default value. Yes or no? At the time of defining default value, we can define now. Using that idea, just we are hacking the Python language and we are coming with the idea. This is workaround. Something in computer we call it as workaround. Directly not available. Something we are working towards achieving that. That is called as workaround. Workaround for function overloading. Now, what I'm going to do, I have a class called as area. Otherwise, I have a class called as shape. That will be the valid name. That will be a valid name. For this function, I assume that I don't need any constructor. And one function is called as area. Another function is there. It is also area. The idea is to return the area of square and area of rectangle. To find out area of rectangle, you need two values. To find out the area of square, you need side by side, width and breadth. That is a rectangle. Now I defined the function. How many functions are there with the same name? Available or not? Area. Two times it is coming. This is one area function, this is one area function. I decided I will be going with this just to experiment. I am not saying this is supported. What I am going to do, I want to create, because I am coming from Java. So innocently I will create one object. I created the object. Now I want to invoke area. I want to invoke 10, comma 20. This is going to invoke which method? Second method. Whatever it is returning, I am going to put it in the output. I can store in the variable also, but I don't want to store, just I want to print it in the screen. I want to run the program. What is saying? 200. Happily it is running, right? Now I want to invoke the first function. Now I want to run first function. What it says? Area missing one required positional argument B. It means that even if you give 10 names in the function, happily, it silently Python will accept. It will not complain. But the last defined function will be come into operation. All are overwritten. I discussed the concept overriding. Overwritten. Right? So if you have more than one function in Python inside a class defined, the last defined function will override the rest. Override the rest. That's why two parameter function was happily running. One parameter is not running. You understood now? Now this program will not work, but this will work. This is a valid function. Now just this is for experiment. Python doesn't support overloading by default. Not just overloading, function overloading, because operator overloading is supported. Got it now? Now I'm going to copy this one. Just you remember what will happen. Innocently, if you type, it's our mistake, it's not the Python's mistake, because it is not producing any error. It is not producing any error. Okay. Now I want to start another program. Same program, let me copy it. Because I copied, I will modify this program itself. Now the same effect I want to achieve, right? I want to achieve the same effect. Print area s dot area. If I call this one, it is not working. Yes or no? Now, are you getting? B is missing because it is overwritten. It is hidden. It is gone. Now, how can I adjust so that I can have this driver code should not affect? This is the driver code, right? In driver code, user can think that function overloading is possible. Like this, they have to think. But inside, I know what I have implemented. Here also, it has put exclamatory mark. Redefinition of unused area from line 10. Are you redefining one already defined function? It is complaining. Who is complaining? Not Python. Spider is complaining. Spider is parsing the code, and instantly it is giving you the feedback. So this complaint is from Spider also. Okay. Now what I'm going to do? One simple thing I'm going to do here. I'm going to introduce none. You know default value. Can I do like this or not? Default by default, what is the value? None value. By default, none value. Because I cannot do like this, I will remove that because two functions are not permitted. I'm deleting one. I deleted one. Here what I will do, here what I will do, if self A not, is not operator, is not none. See, this is workaround. I told you workaround. The actual implementation is not overloading. But for user, if you hide this one, the top, code is how? See, you are writing a package. Your users in Pandas, what you are using, or you know how they have written the classes. Just you know how to use that. At the time of using, you could have used like this. Same function, 2 parameter, 3 meter, it is overloading. How they achieved? Like this they achieved. Another method is there, it is called as decorator. Iterators and decorators is a concept in Python. It is, if you are interested, explore in the internet. That is also possible. Huh? Which one? Yeah, yeah. Decorator is possible. Yeah. Now, A is not none, not A, because anyway, A is not none. Return A. No, first we will check one by one. First, B is not none means return A times B. This is the, because we have to go with this one both. Gautami, Gautami, how are you? Okay, doesn't matter. My God, here also it is gone. Goodness. What I did? Accidentally pressed. I'm not a good recorder, right? Okay, now you see like this. You know Elif? Yeah, Elif. Elif, self is not none. Is not none is start capital letter none. Okay, if it is not none, that time it means that user wants to find out the square root of area of. Now this program is perfectly working for any three possibilities. Call it like this, or call it S area like this. Also empty also you can call. Now see the magic now. Now I'm calling the function. Colon is missing. Yeah, yeah, lost is else, not if. It is lost is else. Now are you getting the answer? So this is the way you can do the function overloading. In four or five opportunities, most of the time, the situation will be how? With the same name, you have to do no argument, one argument, two argument, three argument. How many possibilities? No, one, two, three. Four elif is enough for you. Four elif is enough for you. You can work around and achieve the same result. For the user only, they know this one. Above this one, they don't know how they implement. This is called as implementation. This is called as usage. They know how to use, but implementation details are hidden. Because nobody is interested to, even if it is open source code, Pandas is open source. How many of us have opened how they are designed? It's complicated library. Why should I worry about what I have to use, what I have to achieve? That I am interested about. Got it now? Clear? Yeah. I'll copy paste this one. Gautami, I appreciate even if you are coming late, also you didn't ignore joining classes. You could have ignored, but you didn't ignore. I appreciate that effort.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and it is, you see, this is having a voice also. Yeah, and now this is one thing. And what else I was promising you to teach, Vinay? Today I was all the miscellaneous topics I want to complete with regards to object oriented programming. I told you this function overloading, operator overloading will start. Operator overloading will start. See, I told you. Uh, First, just I will Google it out because I don't have what it is called as a slide for this. What are the? I know the idea. I know the idea. Just I want to show you what are the operators that can be overloaded in Python. I want to go some place like what is this program is okay. This is a nice place because they have listed it out. They show us the list. have explained all the examples. Yeah, it is here. What is the snippet here? Snippet tool, right? Snippet tool. Because for online student, it will be difficult. Snippet tool, how I'm using this one? I'm using full screen, free from mode. No, rectangle mode. I need rectangle mode. New rectangle mode. I'm going to take. Now copy to this one. I'll go to WhatsApp. Style copy paste this one. Uh, please see that in your screen, I have shared some image. Please go through that image. There are almost all the important operators available, like arithmetic operators, less than, less than or equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to. All the operators can be overloaded. Can be overloaded. Now, to make my life easy, just I will explain you some of, because program is giving some. Now you see, this is this code you can understand. This code you can understand. It doesn't need any explanation, right? Copying, because for others benefit, I'm copying and pasting. And point, initialize, it is initialized x comma y. If I ask print p1 and p2, it is going to happen what? It is going to happen what? P1 is an object, P2 is an object. Yes or no? P1 and P2 is an object. If I say unsupported operand type for plus, it says that you are using two objects, point to point. Plus operator doesn't know anything what to do with this one. The given definition of the plus symbol, it doesn't know how to deal the point object. Okay, got it now? Why we are getting error? Okay. Now, say for example, error is there, traced back. Now, in case if you want to print object identification, you can get. You can get identification. You got it now, identification of the object. P1 itself, if you print, what will get? Say for example, P1 is an object. If I say print P1 means print P1 is not a value. It refers to a address in the memory that refers to the whole object. Variables, code, several things are there. So that is what you will be getting. Print P1 means print any object variable is equal to a memory location. Equal to memory location. That's what you have to understand. Now, here you see, we are introducing another code. Here we are seeing another code. Please now you see, because understanding what it is called as sometime understanding operator overloading is bit confusing. So step by step I'm telling. Now you see init function is you are understanding xy is having default value. If you don't, you automatically it will be initialized to 0. If you supply the value, the supplied value will be initialized. And another function you see, it seems it is a special function because it starts and ends with the underscore str. Now it says that return 0 1 format self x and y. Self x and y. You know this notation when I was teaching you SQL. That x value will go to 0, y value will go to 1. Now I am running this program. Yeah, a print statement is missing. Yeah. For this one to work, what we have to do? Point. I have to create a object A. After that, point. After that, print A plus B. Also, what it says? Operator not supported for object. Now, 2 comma 3 is coming because pointer 2 comma 3 is initialized and P1 is printed. P1 is
So we have to initialize the values in
since, yeah, they are coming later with the example program of adding two variables. That is like what it is called as complex numbers. How is the first value will be added to the first value, second value will be added with the second value. Now we will take the same example how they have written 10 comma 20. Now I am asking to print the value of A. It will be formatted like this. It will be formatted like this. Now it is working. How usually what is printing? If I don't have this one, if I don't have this one, simply I comment it out and I made it a pause. It is a valid function. It is a valid function. I don't want to give any value. Now I am asking print. It says that main is a what it is called as a object. It is holding a object point. It is at in the memory some hexadecimal number 0x it is started. Now that is not that this is not what happening with print statement. Now altogether I changed like this.
control Z.
Control Z also, yeah, yeah. Now it is altogether, it is giving us different. You understand now? How this one achieved? By means of a special method called as str. You have to write accordingly the code. Accordingly, you have to write the code. Say for example, I don't want this one. I want to do some addition operation. Addition operation. We will see another example using a operator. Now 2 comma 3 format P1 2 comma 3 it is printing us overloading plus operator. Can you overload plus operator? Yes, it is possible. Now you see x equal to 0, y equal to 0, x equal to some value, y some value we can assign. str self x and y will be displayed as a within bracket like a tuple it will be displayed. Actually it is not tuple. We formatted like that. Like tuple we put some brackets and we decorated that. There is a special method called as add. There is one self and other. Self and other. What you have to do? Self x plus other x, self y plus other y, return point x comma y. Return point x comma y. What will happen? Addition will happen. Also the str function will be called. You are not doing anything. Everything will happen automatic invocation. Special functions you are not calling. Init function did you call? You didn't call. So add function. Now how they have implemented the program, you see. Now they created a object called what it is called as point